All right, boys. Well, you're gonna roll your eyes at my pick for a winner from this offseason. But again, I'm looking to the future. A team that is ready to take a step forward. I've got the ball cap on. The Arizona Coyotes. I thought were a winner from this offseason. And look, I mean, we all know that Arizona the last couple of years has kind of been the NHL's punching bag. Are they going to be able to stay in Arizona? They're playing in a college building. Where is their next home going to be? But put all that aside, throw it in the trash, and just look at the on ice product. And the reality is that it's a good one, and this team took a nice step forward last season. They had 70 points, and I think that this season they're poised to take another step forward, and it would have been so easy for Bill Armstrong to do some of the same things this offseason, take on more bad contracts and guys that are never going to play again to get to the cap floor. But clearly this team took a step. They want to take another one this offseason, and I think they made some really nice, low-risk, high-reward kind of ads. Sean Durzi for a second-round pick, I think, was a great ad. He puts up points. He's still a young right-shot defenseman. He's going to get a ton of opportunity in Arizona. I think there's a good chance that he'll be first pair and on the first power play unit. So you've got that. Jason Zucker on a one-year deal coming off of a 27-goal season. That's a great ad as well. And adding a player like Alex Kerfoot for 2 years at a really reasonable cap hit. It's a different look for him. Again, he'll get a good opportunity in Arizona to kind of move up and down the lineup, maybe get a chance to play with Clayton Keller and Nick Schmaltz. And then you've got Logan Cooley, who decided to not go back to the University of Minnesota and sign with this team. So I look at the Coyotes as having a very positive offseason, and one that kind of slowly changes the perception around this team that they're trying to be competitive, trying to take a step forward, and it's moves like the ones I mentioned that may help them stay in Arizona and actually build a winner there like Bill Armstrong is trying to do. So I thought it was a very positive offseason for the Coyotes. Again, a pick of mine that's kind of looking towards the future, but this is a team that was a lot of fun to watch last year and I think is going to take a nice step forward again this season. What do you guys think?
I think that the offseason was definitely a step in the right direction. They got significantly better. They added basically their top pair of defensemen in Dumba and Durzi. So that itself is going to be a huge win in this offseason because the back end was really looking pretty miserable going into the season without those ads. They've definitely got a lot of guys. They almost seem like, if you look at their offense, or their forwards rather, they seem like they're an expansion team. Mm-hmm. It's like a load of guys who could use a shot somewhere, who've been playing on the third line on other teams, on good teams for the most part. And when they get that shot, these guys could step up, and it's actually going to be a little bit more interesting to follow Arizona this season for that exact reason. For the moves and the signings, I think that is a big offseason win. I think that their draft stunk.
Thank you.
And if we're including that in the offseason, then it takes a little hint there. But no, Harp, I like everything you said. I like the players that they brought in for this team. I don't necessarily love a Kerfoot for the Toronto Maple Leafs or New Jersey Devils, but for the Arizona Coyotes, I think it makes a lot of sense. And they really didn't have anyone big they lost. I think it was just Christian Fischer. So, definitely a more improved team this year, and maybe it's going to be a little more fun for Chad to watch at Mullet Arena.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go, I think they play the Sens the night that we're going, so that should be a fun one. Hopefully the Sens don't beat them down too hard. I don't know how either of those teams are going to fare this year, so it'll be fun to watch for sure. And Harper, I hear where you're coming from, man, with this team being one of the winners of the offseason. Case, you mentioned that top pair alone, bringing in those two guys, Dumba and Durzi. is just fantastic. You have guys who can play, who can run a power play, who will be getting elevated minutes. I think it's all great. In terms of the forwards, I like that analogy, Casey, of them looking like an expansion team. I think the idea with the forward group right now, as it is to figure out who among those guys will be playing with the younger core moving forward over the next few years. So there will be some decisions to be made in 1 or 2 years about all of those guys, but it'll be exciting because players will be playing for jobs every single night. And there are some decent players on that team now, so it'll be fun. They've definitely picked themselves out of the dumpster of the NHL. I don't think they'll be a bottom 5 lottery team. They won't be tanking again. They'll be at least competitive most nights, which is exactly what you want from Arizona if you want them to stay there. But Case, I'm glad you mentioned the draft. Simashev at number 6 was a reach. Boot at, I believe, number 12 was also a reach. I don't know what they're doing with drafting. It just seems like they're not reading everyone else's card when there's, a player or 3 that are clear better picks in the situation. I don't understand what they're doing. And then the all maroon suits of the 20 guys who went up on the stage. Like, again, I don't know what they're doing with that, but so I think when you take everything into account, I don't know if I'm as comfortable as you are, Harper, with naming them winners of the offseason, but I think in terms of improving the team on the ice right now, I think they definitely got better, so that is a bit of a win if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah, well, and that's it, right? Like, we're looking at how this team is, the progression of them on the ice right now. Yes, they took a couple of big swings. I personally don't think it's going to be as bad as you guys and a lot of other people think out there. I think it would be safe to say that their draft previous to this year was better than those 2 first rounders. But hey, we'll wait and see. But as far as the team right now, the progression, the Kellers, the Krauses, the Haytons, and all the guys that I mentioned. And I forgot to mention Dumba. Thank you guys for that. Another good addition for them. But I just think that this team is poised to take a step, and I could see them being in the range of 80 to 85 points, maybe around a 500 record. Not necessarily a playoff team, but they're going to take another step.
Yeah, and I mean, playing games in the West, too. Like, the West clearly isn't as strong as the East right now. So, they'll be competitive for the most part. I truly believe in what I said. Like, I think they'll be competitive most nights. They'll be a better team than they were last year. They won't be bottom 5 of the league. So it's a good thing for Arizona. I do like it. So I understand where you're coming from, for sure.